Hi, and welcome to The Truth's YouTube channel. We are trying out live on our YouTube today. We've already gone and done a lot of Facebook Lives, but today we thought we'd give it a little bit of a mix up and go for a YouTube Live. And hello to anyone who's watching this, and it's already been recorded, so you're not live, but it's nice to have you here as well. So today I'm going to be teaching you and telling you more about our product and our film that we're making, just so that you're more aware of what's going on, and I'll also be available to answer any questions and have any comments asked to me. Anything that you're interested in, I'm happy to oblige. Go straight to our live chat, speak to us on there, or you can contact us through Facebook, Twitter or Instagram through direct messaging or commenting. So, first of all, I'm going to tell you a little bit more about The Truth, the film The Truth, because it seems that a lot of people aren't 100% sure on what we're doing. So, basically, our logline is: an indoctrinated man has his worldview shattered when he learns the truth about his authoritarian technology company overlords. So, basically, what's going on here is that a big company like Apple or Microsoft has taken over the government and they're now in charge, and it's up to the people to decide whether they would like to submit to the truth and accept everything. But there are some people that decide that they would like to rebel instead. So it's all about the differences between that. So looking at our synopsis, we've got three major characters, and then we also have the big brother type figure. So we have Arthur, he's aged 36, he's a man raised in a system that's brainwashed its people into blindly following a corporation that doesn't really care about its people. Arthur, having never gone outside of the government's complex, isn't aware of the dystopia that a large majority of the people live in. He sees it all as a utopia. All that all of that changes when he takes a job that has him leave the office he spent his entire adult life working in. Seeing the living conditions shatters his worldview and causes him to radically change his perspective. This all changes when he meets a girl called Lucy. Now, Lucy is aged 31. She's worked in the Truth Factory before being fired in an attempt to cut costs, and she now lives in the slums with several other unemployed people. She has been through the benefits procedure many times and has only been let down, resulting in a defeated, almost hopeless attitude. After Arthur initially fails to help her, she realises the government is too powerful and she will never win. Then let's talk about our third character, Saul. So Saul is aged 55. He spent his entire life working for the truth, while secretly working for the resistance that aims to overthrow the government. When first meeting Arthur, he is initially skeptical as he has grown used to the countless brainwashed new recruits. However, seeing Arthur put his life on the line for a person he's only just met causes him to realise that this man can help his cause. So we've taken a lot of inspiration from Logan's Run. You probably noticed that. That's the 1976 film. And our film is a dystopian thriller which reveals the true nature of the government when the protagonist meets someone unlike those they usually spend their time around. So similarly in Logan's Run, for any Logan's Run fans out there, the main character meets someone from a rebel cause, and then they kind of gain a friendship together, and then this leads on, and therefore they become rebels together and they leave the place that they thought they would never be able to leave. So if we have a look at our casting, we have some very strong actors. So we have Ben Bruckshaw, who's playing our lead character Arthur, and he actually graduated from Mount View Academy of Theatre Arts, a very prestigious drama school, and he's been working on theatre and film productions ever since. His credits include Don Pedro, The Friar, Margaret in a theatre tour of Shakespeare's Much Ado About Nothing, and that was in 2019, so very recent. He's also performed in many shorts, such as Steve in All In, which was 2015, and Angus in Seven Steps, which was in 2017. On top of this, he has also performed in audio dramas for BBC Radio 4. So he really shone in the auditions because he seemed to capture the essence of the character, and so we believed he is the perfect actor for the role of Arthur. In fact, if any of you entered our competition, you will have found that the secret link to the secret video you received was actually a link to the audition footage. So if you're still interested in entering the competition, we still have 8 more links to give out. So go and comment on our competition post, and you never know, you might win. So let's talk about Sophie Turgeist, who's playing Lucy. She is a wonderful trilingual actress who studied at ArtsEd, another amazing drama school in London, and she was described in Starburst magazine as genuinely captivating, which is a very, very amazing quote to have, especially in Starburst magazine, which a lot of people would have read. So she's been nominated for various awards, including at the Little Wing Film Festival and the Wreak Havoc Film Festival. And what makes her unique is she believes that researching is key to capturing the right tone of acting. So she's been working closely with our director to gain the perfect character of Lucy. Let's move on to Saul. So Saul is going to be played by the wonderful writer and actor Luke Ireland, and he's been working in theatre, commercials and films, and he's currently playing a policeman in a film called Spiral, and has also recently written a script for a comedy series called Guides. He's a well-established actor, having played roles in Assassin's Creed, where he played a guard, for example, and he's very good at playing a very stern and straight-laced character, which was perfect for the role of Saul. So then we talk about the Supervisor. Now, as I mentioned before, the Supervisor is basically a big brother type figure, and we have Emma Reed Davies playing her, and she studied at the Royal Central School of Speech and Drama and has credits going back to 2003 with acting. She's recently gained a new acting agent, and her credits range across television, theatre, film and voiceover. She's been described as beautifully natural in 2018 and most recently played Erin and Jester in the theatre production The Dark Castle. So, you know a lot about the team. If you haven't seen our team videos already, check out the rest of our YouTube channel. We've got lots of interesting content on there. You can get to meet all the cast and crew up and personal. You can also watch our tutorials, which we've done. The how to Steadicam tutorial is by far my favourite. So definitely check those out. They'll be really helpful if you're studying film production or if you're just interested in how it all works. So also, you may have noticed that on our social media and also on our campaign page, we put up a picture of our concept art. Now, we are very, 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 very lucky to have our own concept artist, Sam Moforth, who's creating some amazing artwork for our film. Not only is he creating the concept art, but he's also creating the posters, and it's really, really an amazing experience to work with him. He's a very talented artist. So we believe that using his concept art, we'll be able to make a better film, be able to make it more realistic, because part of the challenge of our film is our production design. So we really, really need to work hard to make sure that our film comes to life. So, thinking about costume then, something that we haven't actually talked about a lot. So Dami's in charge of our costume department, and she's actually taken some inspiration from films such as Logan's Run, and she's also taken inspiration from Equals and 1984. 1984 is a personal favourite of Dami's, and she's really, really passionate about bringing all these characters to life with very sci-fi costumes, such as very suit-like costumes and very uniform costumes. So if you've seen Logan's Run, you know the Sandmen have their perfectly pristine black and grey uniform, and then there's also Lucy takes inspiration from Equals, where they're all in white suits, and it's also going to be combined with some inspiration from 1984 with the whole blue overalls look. And something that we kept a little bit secret, but we're going to reveal to you now, is that we're going to have very special technology that goes with our dystopian world. So we didn't want to keep things to now. We want things to look dystopian. So we're working with visual effects artists to make sure that our film has a little bit of an edge. So it's very important for us that you guys as an audience love what we produce. So it's really, really great to see all the feedback that we're getting. It's been amazing to see all these donations that we've managed to gather from you guys. We really, really, really appreciate it. I honestly can't stress it enough. We really do appreciate every penny, every pound that you've been able to donate. We never realised we would make it to this level already, and it's really, really great that we could do. So we have extended the deadline because there is an issue with Indiegogo. So our deadline was supposed to end this morning very early, which is why we were asking for last donations last night, because we didn't think many people would be up. So it's officially ended, but we've extended it for 2 more days because of the issues with Indiegogo. So I'm just going to explain those again in case you haven't seen our posts. So an issue that we've had with Indiegogo is Apple Pay and Google Pay. If you've been paying your donations through Apple Pay or Google Pay and you've just swiped to send off the amount and it's come up with confirmation on the web page, it doesn't necessarily mean that the donation has gone through, annoyingly. You have to check your emails. You will have a confirmation email, and if you have any queries as to whether your donation has gone through, whether you can't access your emails or something like that, message the team, DM us, and we will let you know straight away whether or not that donation has gone through. We've had a few put through today after they've found out this news, so it looks like some people were caught out with this. So what we would like to tell you as well is that today we've actually had some very good luck. We've had a lot of our locations finalised and sent off, so it's looking like our film is getting very, very exciting and we're nearly there. So I can't thank you enough again for supporting us, and I have just a couple of questions that people have sent me, so I'm going to just answer those now. So one of the questions that we've been asked is, why have we done a film of this topic? So that's quite an easy answer for us, because in this kind of political climate, there's a lot of issues with the government in all the countries, I think, and we believe, whether or not you believe that, there's always discrepancies, and we always think that these discrepancies are what we're targeting. So what we want to show is what would happen in a dystopian world where companies that we've trusted, such as Apple and Microsoft and other companies, I'm not associated with any of those, take over the government and they become the ones in power. So they are the ones that take control, and it's basically showing how perhaps we can't trust these companies, or perhaps we can. We don't know, this isn't real life, but it's just another view of what might happen. Also, we wanted to cover social housing, because social housing is always a very big part of the government issues that people may face, and the benefit system is constantly in the news, and things like Grenfell Tower disaster just highlights the issues that we still have today with social housing. So we wanted to cover that in a dystopian world to kind of mix it up so that people can understand what might happen if we don't make changes. So that was the first question. I hope I answered that for you, Jenny. And the second question that we had was, what made the actors stand out in the audition? So, as I said before, we had some really, really amazing actors come to our auditions. We had so many applicants. We had hundreds of applicants that we looked through, and our casting director, Kexin, she looked through them all and she chose the ones that she liked the most, and they were the people based on show reels and what they've done, what their CVs look like, what they look like in comparison to the characters we'd imagined. And because if you notice in our campaign video, there is actually a clip of our director Lucas drawing, and he actually sketched out all the character designs beforehand, so we knew what sort of characters we were looking for. So if you notice, the drawing he did of Arthur actually looks very, very, very similar to the Arthur that we cast. But obviously he's very talented as well. So the reason we chose the actors we did, if you like to go too far into it, so Arthur really shone in our audition. To be honest, Arthur was an amazing category for us. We had such amazing talent in that category, And Ben just shone because it really did feel like a real emotion. And in fact, in the audition, I was reading out the lines to him and he was reading them back to me, and it did feel like he was genuinely in that moment, and that was really impressive. Same with Sophie, who's playing Lucy. It was very, very realistic. We really felt like we were feeling the emotion she was trying to portray, and it was really, really important for us to get actors that perfectly understood our script from the word go, and that was very important for us. And then we have Luke. Now Luke came in and he actually tried for several of our roles because we weren't sure exactly where to put him, because originally we were going to put Saul as an older man and cast an older man. However, he shone so strongly with his sternness and the way that he can portray a character like Saul, and we decided we would take a risk and choose him for Saul, and he's absolutely amazing at it, and we really, really are very impressed with that casting. And Emma, who's our supervisor. So with the supervisor, we weren't sure who we wanted to be the supervisor. We didn't mind if they were male, female, young, old, anything in between. We didn't know exactly what they needed to look like. We just knew what they had to come across as, and they needed to come across as quite a business focused person, someone who's very confident but without being too scary, because we wanted to create someone who was like an overarching figure who wasn't just boring and mean. We wanted someone that had more to them and the kind of depth. And she really was able to read between the lines and get the characters' ideas. And in fact, she actually came from work and she was working in a business. So she was actually in a suit when she came in. And I definitely think her style when she portrayed the supervisor was kind of like a pitch, and it very much felt businessy. So that really shone to us as well. So thank you, and I hope I answered your question, Dan. And one last question, and then I think our time is probably up because you're probably bored by now. So if you are still with me, thank you for watching. I really do appreciate. So our final question, unless another one pops up straight away now, which probably isn't going to, but our final question of the day is going to be about the locations. So obviously we have chosen a dystopian film, and we've got a question here from Mike, and he says, how are you going to cope with the fact that you want dystopian locations in the current day? So obviously this is something that's quite important because it's very difficult when you don't have a lot of budget. I mean, thank you so much for your support again on the Indiegogo campaign. We honestly couldn't make this film without you, and every penny and every pound you've donated is allowing us to make this film, so I can't stress that enough. I'm so grateful, and you do still have 2 days if you would like to donate any more or check that your donation went through. We have amazing perks on there, so don't forget about that. And so basically how we're going to make this happen is we are creating a miniature model. We have a model designer on the job right now making our city in miniature for us. This is amazing, and to have someone who's creating the concept art to make it real is absolutely outstanding. So I'm very, very, very happy to have her on board and have the rest of her model design team on board as well. So we can't wait to show that to you. So that's one way that we're doing things. We're doing things a bit differently that way. We also are very much looking into locations. I can't give you any details, unfortunately, at this stage, but we're looking into locations that are more sciencey based because they tend to look a little bit more dystopian. And also things are going to be green screened because we obviously can't create everything that would be in a dystopian world. So that's very important for us as well. And we are very much looking into perspectives so that we can make sure that we get the exact divide between the utopian side and the dystopian side. So the dystopian side is actually a little bit easier to source because we're just looking for a wrecked home. It doesn't actually have to be very dystopian looking as such, because the whole point is that it's not that far into the future that everything's completely different. Like there's still tables and chairs and things. It's not gone crazy. So basically we want that side of things, and then we have our utopian side of things, and we really think that this will work. So we can't wait to get on and tell you some more news later. But that's all from me tonight, so thank you guys for tuning in. Don't forget to donate to our Indiegogo page. The links are all over our social media. And don't forget to follow us on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram. So if you're looking for that Indiegogo link, there's a link in our pinned post on Facebook, our pinned post on Twitter, and in our bio on our Instagram. And it's always The Truth. And our Indiegogo page is called The Truth, a dystopian film, if you're looking for that. So subscribe to our YouTube, check out our other videos, and I can't wait to keep you updated with more news. Thanks for watching, guys.